I remember the first time I saw Judge Richard Caldwell in action, didn't even bother to look up from his stack of papers before barking out. "Sit down. Are you deaf or just stupid?" That's how he talked to people. The whole room froze like someone just fired a gun in the air. But Marcus Johnson, that man didn't flinch, standing there in a crisp Navy suit. Not a wrinkle out of place, just calmly holding his ground while the judge's face turned tomato red. Caldwell slammed his gavel so hard it echoed off those cold marble walls. Typical. Probably can't even read the charges against you. That's the kind of thing he'd say, out loud, with the whole courtroom listening. Marcus just sat down, back straight, briefcase by his side, initials shining. Charges: reckless endangerment, disturbing the peace, resisting arrest. Judge Caldwell announced 60 days in county jail with the kind of satisfaction that make your skin crawl. You ever see someone's whole world flip upside down in under a minute? That's what it looks like. Now, Caldwell was old school, 15 years on the bench. The kind of guy who believed law was about order, and order meant everyone knowing their place. He'd sit in that giant leather chair like he was royalty, telling young clerks, justice isn't about feelings. It's about maintaining the natural order. And if you listen close, you'd realize what order meant to him. Some people respected the law. Others, he said, needed to be taught. It didn't matter what your record said. Not really. Take Marcus Williams, black man. No priors. Up for assault. Got 18 months in county jail. 3 weeks later, Bradley Thompson, white guy. Same charges, 6 months probation and some community service. The only difference was the color of their skin. But Caldwell, he'd dress it up as character and background. Always pausing on that word, associations, just long enough for everyone to get the message without him ever saying it directly. If you were at one of those country club meetings, you'd hear his colleagues patting him on the back, calling him tough but fair. They'd raise their expensive drinks and tell each other. That's why his district stays peaceful. But the truth, man, the truth was uglier than anyone wanted to admit. When Kesha Roberts, a young black attorney, tried to speak up in a domestic violence case, Caldwell shut her down like she was some kid playing dress-up. 10 minutes later, her white coworker made the same objection, and Caldwell thanked him for his input. It was a pattern. Black defendants' harsher sentences. Black attorneys' motions ignored. Black families in the gallery warned about disruptions for reactions white families made all the time without consequence. But Caldwell wasn't dumb. He never used slurs. He never let anything overt slip on the record. Instead, he'd say things like, "This defendant clearly lacks the moral foundation for rehabilitation." Or, for the white guys, "This appears to be an unfortunate lapse in judgment." The media ate it up. Tough on crime, strong on values. But nobody mentioned the whispers in courthouse bathrooms, the way black court reporters requested transfers, or how public defenders knew to brace themselves for his courtroom. If you crossed him, suddenly your case is stalled. Your clients got stuck with impossible bail. Your whole career became a bureaucratic minefield. Ask Tony Washington, public defender, about his client 2 years for marijuana, while a suburban white kid got rehab. But you wouldn't hear that from Tony directly. People kept quiet. Caldwell made sure of it. The breaking point came with Malik Jefferson, college graduate, no record, caught with a tiny bit of cocaine. The prosecutor recommended probation and community service. But Caldwell decided Malik needed discipline, gave him 2 years in prison. Same week, same charge. Connor Bradley White got 6 months probation and counseling. No one challenged it. Because who could? Complaints disappeared. Appeals got denied. Caldwell's friends protected him. But in private, the mask came off. He'd tell his clerk, "My grandfather didn't fight in World War II, so these criminals could lecture me about fairness." His secretary, Maria, took careful notes, not to expose him, just to survive. Caldwell fired anyone who wouldn't support his way. and the legal world loved him. His numbers looked good. His sentences stuck. Promotion to appellate court felt inevitable. But the lives he wrecked, the families broken. The young men hardened by prison. The attorneys who left his district for good, those weren't in any report. Then Marcus Johnson stepped up. He wasn't just anybody, lead prosecutor. State of Georgia. Special Crimes Division. Walked into the courthouse with his Italian leather briefcase and a plan that would change everything. Even the security guards snapped to attention when he came through. Marcus wasn't there just to fight cases. He had years of data, charts, and statistical proof lining his office. 42% harsher sentences for black defendants. Sometimes more. He'd worked with analysts, cross-checked sealed records, pored over appeals, built a bulletproof case. But he needed one more thing, first-hand evidence. And so, Marcus did the unthinkable. He set himself up to be arrested in Caldwell's district, orchestrated it so the only judge who could hear his case would be the man himself. He wanted to experience, on the record, exactly what black defendants faced for years. His team, Tony, Sarah, the analysts, they all knew what was at stake. It wasn't just about him. It was about every Marcus Williams, every Malik Jefferson, every black defendant who thought their degree, their job, their good name would protect them in Caldwell's courtroom. They learned the hard way it didn't. The day Marcus appeared before Caldwell, everything changed. Caldwell, not recognizing him, handed down his usual sentence, 60 days in jail, for something most people would get a slap on the wrist for. But this time, after the gavel fell, Marcus stood up and revealed who he was: badge, credentials, the whole deal. The courtroom exploded. Reporters scrambled. Attorneys whispered. The bailiff didn't know what to do. Marcus laid out the evidence: 6 months of investigation, years of proof, audio recordings of Caldwell's most damning statements, statistical analysis that left no room for doubt. The media was there. The federal agents arrived. Caldwell was suspended on the spot, then charged under federal civil rights statutes, everything from conspiracy to deprive people of their rights to systematic abuse of power. His entire career unraveled right there in the same chamber where he'd ruined so many others. Every case Caldwell had touched was up for review. Black defendants finally got a second look. Some even had their sentences overturned and records wiped clean. The system Marcus exposed wasn't unique to Caldwell, but now the whole state, hell, the whole country was looking for more like him. Marcus Johnson got promoted Deputy Attorney General, Civil Rights Division. Caldwell went to prison, stripped of everything, even his country club membership. Law schools called it the Caldwell precedent, the Johnson Protocol. Marcus's method of building a rock-solid case with hard data and lived experience spread across the country. States started investigating their own judges, and those old patterns started breaking up, piece by piece. 6 months later, Marcus stood in his new office, watching the sunlight hit his new nameplate. He remembered all the families, all the defendants, all the hope that died in that courtroom. But now, he saw people getting second chances. The cases kept coming, hundreds still to review, but at least now, there was hope. The story didn't end with one corrupt judge going down. It was about people refusing to let injustice be normal. Marcus finished recording his story for the Office channel. Justice isn't just blind, he said, looking straight into the camera. It needs people who aren't afraid to see what's broken and do something about it. And that's how you change the system, one bold move at a time.